We all know that the Nordics are innovative, and this is being showcased here today. And we, the Nordics, we also pride ourselves of being top of the world when it comes to gender equality. I was actually speaking to people from Business Iceland during lunch, and they said that we were actually exporting equality. And I think that's a good way of looking at it and seeing the business side of gender equality. And yes, we are equal societies, and the Nordic model of equality has proven to be beneficial to our societies and our lives. According to the OECD, Iceland leads the way when it comes to women's equality in the workplace. We have also been women hold nearly half of the country's board seats, and that is thanks to a mandatory quota of 40% from 2013, and a similar system is in place in Norway. And thirdly, and this is something we always bring up when we talk about equality, that Iceland has topped the World Economic Forum's global gender gap for 12, or is it 13 now? 12 consecutive years. But it doesn't tell the whole story. I mean, we have women in high places, we have half the parliamentarians, ministers, prime ministers, presidents in all our countries, but follow the money. And a less equal picture emerges. I saw that according to 2023 Fortune's list of 500 chief executives in the US, 53 were women, or 500. In the US, 25% of the top innovation firms are led by women. And even, I mean, this great conference here today, I mean, and the organizers have done a great job in having women on all the panels and as speakers. And I didn't do the head count, but kind of glancing over the names, I mean, the men seem to have the upper hand here. And it's not anything to do with the organizers, but the lack of women in many of the advanced tech and innovation sectors which are presented here today. But the numbers are rising, and the future is bright. We have acknowledged that there is a need to invest in women. Women-led startup companies and companies led by women. And are making sure that there is diversity in their firms, and these are the companies that people more and more want to invest in. And this all brings me to Freyja, Thorarinsdottir. There was someone talking about Icelandic names before. So Thorarinsdottir, who is founder and chief executive officer of GEMMAQ, who will introduce the tools she has been developing to measure women's real economic impact in the market. Originally, Freyja is a lawyer, and she has an extensive career, and she worked, for example, 5 years at the Central Bank of Iceland, when she decided to turn a page and studied economic policy and management at Columbia University, where her passion for gender equality and finding ways and means to reach that goal based on the work around the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Goal 5, gender equality, being in her view, and I think many of us share that view, that goal reached, we will reach the 16 other goals as well. We all know that women's empowerment and gender equality makes economic sense for our societies, making them more productive, happier. We talked this morning and yesterday about the happy Finns, but I mean, all our countries are, all our people are quite happy, and it has to do with equality. We are more peaceful societies, and so on and on. The same is true for companies. The ones who are inclusive aim at diversity at the top, fare better. So it makes economic sense. But how do we measure that? And to ensure, how do we ensure transparency and reliable information, data? How do we put on a gender lens when examining companies? And this has been the passion of Freyja and her much awarded startup. It's not a startup any longer, is it? It is. She has been awarded, for example, she was awarded the 8 Scandinavian Women in Tech to Know, Nordic Women in Tech Awards winner as the Rising Star in 2021, and the New York City Top 50 Startup List 21. So I think we are all very excited to hear from you, Freyja, and also seeing people and investors looking at the companies, at the core of the companies, and invest in those who are inclusive and make sure that there is diversity at the top. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. And thank you for having me. So I am Freyja. I am the founder and CEO of GEMMAQ. And here now I get to talk about something I'm very passionate about, and that is measuring women's real impact in the market. And many of you remember the Fearless Girl statue. And so she was placed in front of the Bull on Wall Street. And that was in 2017. And her message was clear, and that was to increase board diversity on Wall Street. And at that time, I was in the financial sector, and I noticed there was a generational shift in impact investing. Younger investors, they wanted to invest with impact while generating returns. And one of those investment focuses is gender lens investing. And what is that? That is investing in gender equal companies that promote diversity, and companies that have diverse leadership. So, gender lens investing has indeed increased greatly since the Fearless Girl statue was placed on Wall Street. And that time it was about $100,000 in assets under management. And all the way today, it's about $20 billion. But the thing is, I noticed when I was in the financial sector that there was a problem. So these are mostly indirect investments. So these are in investment vehicles. These are indices, basket of hundreds of companies. So not surprisingly, people came to me and asked, what is this even? What is gender lens investing? This is confusing. Do I just trust the process and hope for the best? No, that's not how it should be. So there was something off. And there was a lack of transparency, lack of data, and lack of tools for investors to invest with a gender lens. So I decided to step in and do something about this. And this is GEMMAQ, so this is our gender lens for the US market. And it's actually very simple. So we measure the top leadership among public companies. And so the good thing is we are seeing progress. And most states in the US and most sectors have been improving, like year after year, but the rate is not fast enough. I mean, nobody wants to wait 300 years for gender equality, right? Yeah, so that's why we need to measure. And through our website and our platform, you can create your own portfolio. So those indices, you can see through them. So you can see how gender equal and diverse the companies really are. And here is my customized gender lens, where I have picked, of course, some local companies, given that this is my home state, and then, of course, some Nordic-friendly companies to kind of push up the average for the portfolio. So there is, so this is a way to kind of look through the market through the gender lens. But this is not just the right thing to do, to invest with a gender lens. It's also good business. And if I had invested 1 million 10 years ago in women-led companies, I would have made more money than if I had invested in the other companies. So it looks pretty good, right? Yeah. Yeah. But even though there's not correlation, research shows, and extensive research shows, that it has positive impact. Diversity is good business. And even better, if we look at those companies through a diversity lens, like using the GEMMAQ measure, I would have made even more money. So, something to think about. So what can we do? So the simplest thing is just to put on our gender equality glasses. Just look at companies, look at markets, look at countries through a gender lens. And by measuring and investing with a gender lens, we promote gender equality while making some money out of it, and it benefits society as a whole. So, thank you.